Gentlemen, to the World of Wrestling podcast. Here today to discuss about WWE Smackdown from May 16th, 2025 review. I think Smackdown this past Friday was actually very entertaining. Main event was a lot of fun to watch through the women's World Championship between Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. Very good main event match for SmackDown. Hell of a lot better than her match with Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte Flair has downgraded and is an absolute waste of time. She was on the show tonight, Charlotte Flair. She actually had a backstage conversation with Alexa Bliss about them at one point being friends, and they ought to be friends again and teaming together and whatnot, which I don't quite understand why. But Charlotte Flair goes ahead and mentions that she never recalls them ever being friends to begin with when they were down in NXT. Wow, this woman apparently has a very short-term memory. Or she's just a piece of shit asshole. I'll go with number 2. Piece of shit asshole. What else? Solo Sikoa, he ends up advancing to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, as well as Alexa Bliss. All triple threat matches, by the way. Apparently, Triple H does not believe in the one-on-one concept of qualifying. Apparently, he's too delusional and mentally retarded to just make qualifying matches and singles matches. He wants to make it triple threats because, of course, his name is Triple H. It's kind of funny how he has triple threat matches and his wrestling name is Triple H. So, just kind of want to throw that out there since no one's ever mentioned it on any of the other big YouTube channels. I find that absolutely ironic and funny, honestly. Solo Sikoa, Alexa Bliss have moved on to the Money in the Bank ladder match. So they did qualify. Both the matches were fairly decent. We also had Solo Sikoa start the show with Jacob Fatu and Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb is no longer named Jeff Cobb. He is JC Matoya or some shit. Some Samoan last name. Kind of garbage, so I guess they couldn't brand his name, have rights to it, so they just put his initials and then added an extra name to it. And did it that way. And they kickstarted the show with a promo. Solo Sikoa basically mentions that he's going to run SmackDown, become a world champion, and bring the world championship to the family, all that jazz, yada, yada, yada. And that's pretty much what he had to say. He also asked for Jacob Fatu to say, "I love you, Solo," like how he used to. Unfortunately, he did not get that same kind of reaction that Jacob Fatu used to give him. Because Jacob is starting to see that there's jealousy from Solo Sikoa. And I personally can tell. Sorry guys, I'm just really tired from a long, drawn-out day. 9 hours of work. Getting some overtime hour in there with my normal shift, and I'm just kind of yeah. But yes, there is jealousy from Solo Sikoa. Jacob Fatu is wanting to do this on his own with the success that he gets, and Solo don't like that. That's why he brought Jeff Cobb in from the Backlash pay-per-view for the Fatal 4-Way Championship match for the U.S. Championship. And Jacob Fatu did not like that to begin with. He wants to do this on his own. He wants to do it the right way, not the fucked up and messed up way. Solo don't care about any of that. He wants things done his way. And if that means multi-man beat-ups on one guy, then to win a match, then that's what he wants to do. So, of course, Jacob Fatu doesn't give him what he wants. Makes him a little upset. And that was pretty much the segment in a nutshell. I'm not really trying to drag this out very much because this episode, I mean, yeah, this was a good episode, but WWE has been kind of like, yeah. Raw last night was shit. I'm going to go over that after this review and after I've uploaded on YouTube and all that, but yeah, I not been super excited. Since Elimination Chamber, WWE's creativity has been not all that great. Let me just put it that way. Raw for a couple of weeks was pretty good, then they turned into shit. Now SmackDown's picking up the slack of where Raw has kind of laid off from this past episode. It seems like they put more effort into one show and leave the other one uncared about for whatever reason. They just lack care for it for whatever reason. But anyway, after the segment is over, we now go backstage with Mitchin and B-Fad talking about Money in the Bank as they are interrupted by Chelsea Green and her gang. Alexa Bliss then comes in and says, "See you out there." Okay. First match on the card was the women's Money in the Bank qualifier. Chelsea Green versus Alexa Bliss versus Mitchin. Chelsea Green eats the L. Alexa Bliss gets the W with the Sister Abigail DDT. We go to a recap of last week with Fraxium defeating the Street Profits and Fraxium being taken out by DIY. So this leads to a tag team match between Fraxium and DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. And from Fraxium, it's Nathan Frazier and Axiom. This was a good match. And Fraxium got the W. But yes, this was a very entertaining matchup. Fraxium has been a fantastic tag team added to the tag teams that they got on the Smackdown show. SmackDown's tag team wrestling has been fun as hell to watch. They have been producing good television. Their only problem is they need more tag teams. They lack tag teams. And Raw, on the other hand, despite the fact that they have a lack of tag teams like SmackDown does, they seem to be absolutely boring as hell and no one cares. At least SmackDown's tag teams, the fans care about them premiering on the show and performing in front of them, and they get excited when they see the match unfold in front of them. So that's a plus for the SmackDown tag team division. I'd say SmackDown's tag team wrestling is probably the best wrestling on any wrestling show between AEW and WWE, but that's not saying much since all three of these promotions, well, WWE's Raw and SmackDown and AEW's tag team division suck. It's not that difficult to just raise the bar just a little bit to say you're above all the rest, because the bar ain't set that high. Very low. But yes, very entertaining match between DIY and Fraxium. Fraxium picks up a W. And then later on in the show, they go back. They actually are granted a WWE Tag Team title match, I believe, next week against the Street Profits. So Street Profits will grant them their Tag Team title opportunity for next week's SmackDown. Should be entertaining. And hopefully Street Profits retain the tag team titles, because I do not want to see Fraxium just get the tag team titles instantly after just, Street Profits just got the tag team titles earlier this year. So, just my opinion. So, After the match was over, though, DIY attacks Fraxium. The music of Motor City Machine Guns hit, and Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley run down to make the save. We go backstage with Rey Fenix and Andrade, and Rey Fenix says, even though he fell from his WrestleMania moment, his next call is Money in the Bank. Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Jeff Cobb come in as if Phoenix and Andrade has seen LA Knight. And that was it. Go to commercial break, come back. Back from break, we get a promo for Fantastic Fest, June 20th to 22nd. Backstage is Fraxium walking as they are met by the Street Profits. They say next week Fraxium will get their title opportunity. Now we go to the most mind-numbing and brain cell killing segment of the entire show. R-Truth sitting down with Wade Barrett. I even think Wade Barrett started scratching his head and feeling like he was becoming dumber just listening to this man speak about John Cena. This was absolutely fucking disturbing. I was hoping we'd get the old R-Truth, one that's pissed off, one that's angry, one that's serious. I mean, we did get somewhat of a serious R-Truth here. It wasn't all jokes and being funny, but still, he came across as if he's a mindless fuck and is mentally retarded. I mean, bottom of the barrel nonsense. Wade Barrett asks R-Truth how he feels about what John Cena did to him at the post-conference. And he said, oh, John Cena's still my hero. John Cena, has always talked about hustle, loyalty, and respect. And never giving up no matter what happens to you. And I'm not going to give up. And he goes, but listen to yourself. He's like, this sounds idiotic. He said, he put you through a table after you helped him win and retain his WWE Championship. And that's how he repays you. Why aren't you angry? He goes, oh, because that's not the real John Cena. Really? I don't know. It looked like John Cena at that post-press conference. Didn't look like a clone. Maybe it is a clone. Maybe that's the ending storyline of all this. Maybe we get a look-alike John Cena to say that John Cena, the real John Cena, was abducted, and the current John Cena that we see is a clone of John Cena. That'd be kind of interesting if they could have actually pulled something off like that. But I highly doubt it. I mean, there is a lot of talk in conspiracy land about celebrities that once look different later on in life, and they look so odd and different and whatnot, and they don't understand. And they think maybe they're clones, and the original person that was once there was kidnapped, killed, and then turned into a clone to do their bidding and make them act and sound differently than getting tongue-tied, than what they once were. I mean, they could go ahead and throw something out there like that if they want to, if they could actually pull off a guy to look like John Cena. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it'll work. We can't pull off the Kane versus Kane or Undertaker versus Undertaker type of match with two John Cenas. They're not wearing masks, so you can't hide what they look like, unfortunately. But that would be kind of interesting. I think that was actually a pretty good little story. I ought to throw a super chat to JD and Jason Solomonster about that one tonight. That would be kind of funny. But yeah, I think the more realistic and more logical way of going is we just go with John Cena finally wakes up to the realization that what he's doing is wrong and he shouldn't be doing this anymore. It's not him. Blah, blah, blah. That's pretty much what I think is going to happen. But I think that's going to happen after he loses the WWE Championship. I figure he'll lose the WWE Championship probably by, either between August, like in SummerSlam, he might lose it at Clash at the Castle in Paris, maybe. He could always lose it in Australia, maybe. Might be another place where he loses the title. But I don't think he's going to lose the title at the very end of the year, being his last match, and then becoming a babyface. I think he's going to become a babyface before his last match. So, just my thoughts. I don't know if I might be wrong. Maybe he does become a babyface in his last match after he loses the WWE Championship. I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't even string it along till December. I would just end it at SummerSlam, personally. But they already confirmed he's having a match in December at Saturday Night's Main Event in December. So, if that's the case, then yeah, he's going to have a match in December, and that's going to be it. So, that's just my thoughts on that. But that would be funny. But yeah, he's already asked Nick Aldis for a match. No title match on the line. So we're going to get R-Truth and John Cena at Saturday Night's Main Event. And he's going to do what he's going to do. His attitude is, no matter what, he will walk out with his head held high and have hustle, loyalty, and respect. Wow. What a fucking joke. Anyway, we get a vignette with Damian Priest challenging Drew McIntyre to a cage match at Saturday Night's Main Event for May 24th. Priest said that the hospital will have to identify McIntyre only by his dental records. Boy, you got a lot of work ahead of you, pal. Seriously. If you're going to make that kind of statement, I better see fucking Drew McIntyre bleeding like a stuffed pig. I better see him mangled, bruised, destroyed. Why aren't we having a stretchers match? Why can't we just do that? Why has it got to be a steel cage? They've already had a hardcore match. A no-holds-barred match. Why not do a stretcher match? Or an ambulance match? Send his ass to the fucking hospital. That's what we're talking about here. Why not just do an ambulance match? It's fairly easy. Just bring a fucking ambulance into the damn arena and drop his ass in there. And voila, beat him senseless. Make him bleed. Do all the things you're talking about in your promo. I don't know what's so fucking difficult. A steel cage match. Okay. I don't hear anyone complaining about this. To me, it seems a little bit of a lost gimmick match. Personally, I think they're missing out on something that would be more meaningful, and I think an ambulance match or a stretcher match, or even if you want to leave all those things out of the mix, just make it a last man standing match at least. We're getting a steel cage match. Who wins this match? I'm going to say Damian Priest probably. I don't think Drew McIntyre is winning this match. I don't think he needs to, personally. I honestly think this match should be determined whoever wins the match is actually qualifying for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Because, personally, between the two of them, they both deserve it. They've been putting on good matches. Their match and that Fatal 4-Way was entertaining as hell. They took away from the match at a certain point near the end where Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre are battling through the crowd and then doing a choke slam through the fucking tables and all that shit. I honestly think they deserve a one-on-one match to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match. In which case, if that was taking place, I'd say Drew McIntyre wins that. Because that poor son of a bitch continuously keeps getting screwed. And I don't know why. But it's kind of awkward to me. Just my thoughts on that. Anyway, moving on. Next, we get Aleister Black having his match next against Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes with The Miz is getting fucking old as shit, and Carmelo Hayes is going nowhere with his career with him. Aleister Black actually picks up doesn't pick up a W. It becomes a no contest because The Miz got involved in the match and gets a black mass across the head. Hayes climbs to the top and connects with a big leg on Black. The commentary team said the match was thrown out, and that was pretty much it. Terrific. Next, we go backstage with Brian Saxon talking to Alexa Bliss about her win. She then tells Byron she has to go. Alexa then confronts Charlotte Flair about how they were friends in NXT, but Flair says she doesn't remember that, and Julia, whatever her fucking name is, then walks out of Nick Aldis's office. Aldis comes out as he tells Flair they need to talk about Money in the Bank, and Flair then tells Bliss she doesn't believe in her. And Drew McIntyre is shown walking backstage as well. Julia is now officially part of the Smackdown roster. They split Roxanne Perez and Julia apart. They had an altercation backstage after their main event tag team match from last week's Raw episode. So they are no more. They split them up. One's on Raw, one's on SmackDown. And Julia is on her own on SmackDown roster. Good luck to her. She's going to need it. She's going to be lost in the shuffle before you know it. So McIntyre has a mic in his hand. He says he heard what Priest had to say. Drew says the only thing Priest is relevant is because the only reason why Priest is relevant is because of his feud with McIntyre, which is very true. Drew says that that Priest is obsessed with him. Drew says it's jealousy. Drew says he is better than Priest and would have been a Grand Slam champion at Backlash if it wasn't for him. Drew says he has to end this and accepts Priest's challenge from a video package that aired earlier for a steel cage match at Saturday night's main event. Great. As Drew walks to the back, the music of Solo Sikoa hits. He, JC, and Jacob Fatu make their way to the ring, and it looks like they give a stare-off. Solo Sikoa and Drew McIntyre. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Is Drew McIntyre going to replace Jacob Fatu? Is that a possibility? Who knows? So we get the next Money in the Bank qualifier. This one's for the men. Jimmy Uso, Rey Fenix, and Solo Sikoa have their triple threat match. Solo Sikoa picks up the W by connecting the Samoan Spike on Phoenix to get the win. Phoenix continues to eat L's, though he's still relevant on the show. After the match, LA Knight runs down and attacks Solo, JC, and Jacob Fatu. Knight has a chair standing on the announce table, and Nick Aldis then comes out and says SmackDown is where they settle their differences in the ring, and makes a match between Jeff Cobb and LA Knight. So Jeff Cobb faced LA Knight one-on-one in this matchup. It was a fun, entertaining match, but the crowd just seemed a little dead to me. Just my thoughts on that. But yeah, Jeff Cobb picks up his first win. His debut match on WWE wasn't bad. I thought it was fair. And he beats LA Knight. And LA Knight keeps taking L's, which I'm not too much of a fan of. We go to a video package of Berto leaving the ring after Santos slapped him last week. In the locker room, Santos tells Angel He needs to go find Berto and invite him to dinner or something. Really? Okay. Angel says he will try to find Berto. Santos says Angel has been loyal since day one. Okay, next, back from the break, we go to a vignette of Shinsuke Nakamura directed towards his attention towards LA Knight and Aleister Black. Nakamura is speaking in all Japanese as we have English subtitles in it. And I'm not going to go over that because, honestly, it means absolutely nothing to me because Shinsuke Nakamura has not been the same since winning the Royal Rumble in 2018. I honestly think his run in WWE has been absolutely horrendous. I think he ought to go back to New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think they'd get him as a main eventer right out of the gate, and he'd probably be more relevant than what he is on this show because they got nothing for him. We go backstage with Jade Cargill confronting Tiffany Stratton, telling her she will win the Money in the Bank ladder match and take the title Stratton did, and take the title like Stratton did to Nia. And Stratton tells Jade as long as she is the champion, Jade will never be able to beat her. Terrific. And then the main event. Tiffany Stratton defending the title against Nia Jax. Great matchup. A lot of dangerous spots in this match, though. I mean, a couple of times I thought Nia Jax was going to kill her by accident. But Tiffany Stratton picks up the W. Great main event. Very entertaining matchup. And a fairly good show, honestly. I think SmackDown was an entertaining show last week. Hopefully SmackDown's another entertaining show this week. But only time will tell, and we'll have to see what they put on for us to watch for this coming Friday. But anyway, guys, at this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. I thank you guys very much for watching. I'll be back with another video of the WWE Monday Night Raw episode from May 19th, 2025. Thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great night. Bye.